Okay, guys, I'm going to be really honest with you on this lesson 66. I don't feel like you need me to show you these. You just need me to explain the logic behind it. Look right here for this one. Add this and this together. And you should look at those denominators and say, okay, I need to find a common denominator. Then you should say, look, they're so close to being the same. If I move this, it's 3 minus x. This one's x minus 3. And you're like, Miss Jessica, isn't there any way to make those the same denominator? It seems like it's just so stinking close to being the same denominator. And the answer is, dun, 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 yes. We can easily manipulate this one to make it the same denominator. How? You're going to change the signs. Look, this is negative. Make that a positive. Bring down your negative here. And you're just going to change the sign. So here we go. This becomes positive in the middle. See? Positive. X becomes positive. 3 becomes negative. Boom, shakalaka. Now you have x minus 3 and x minus 3 as your common denominator, and that's all you have to do, okay? You're like, no, Miss Jessica, I don't understand. Okay, well, let's just repeat until you get it. Look at this one, x minus 3 and 3 minus x. If you, first of all, let's put the x in the front. X in front is going to be negative x plus 3. Just like that one. Okay, so that you have the same order, right? Okay, but then you change your sign. You make this negative right here in the middle. You make this negative in the middle, and you're like, wait a second, Miss Jessica, it's not negative in the middle. I'll show you why. You make this negative in the middle, so you make the positive x and the negative 3. Now, all of a sudden, you have the same denominator. Now, what they do is they distribute the negative. It'll be negative 2x and then positive 3 on the top. So you just change the signs. Then you just add it together. Now, look, you can be honest with me and say, Miss Jessica, I would really prefer that I see you do it. And I will. But I will do the practice one for you. Okay, now I'm going to show you this one also with the book, okay? I want to show you what they're going to ask you to do. Look at example 3. Find x and y. Okay, well, you should automatically look at it and say, like, I can find x and y with sine, cosine, tangent. Okay, how would we do that with sine, cosine, tangent? We would go, if we want to find x, x is opposite of 60 with a hypotenuse. Well, opposite over hypotenuse is sine. So it'd be sine 60 equals x over 5. Y would obviously be cosine 60 equals y over 5, okay? But they want to give you a different way to do it. They want to give you this triangle right here. They're saying, look, if you see that the triangle is has a 60 right here and it's a right triangle, you automatically know that it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. That's what it's called. See right here? It's called right there. A 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay? So when you see a 30, 60, 90 triangle, you are going to memorize that little triangle right there. I'm going to write it on my paper because I'm going to show it to you here. Where this is a 2 always on this side, this is a square root 3 always on that side, and a 1. So you go like this. Start 1, 2, square root 3. Okay? Now be careful. It's because the 60 is right here and the 30 is right there. But what happens when the 30 is right here and the 60 is right there? Remember, 1 is always across from 30, 60 is always across from the square root 3. Okay? So 60 is always across from the square root of 3. 30 is always across from the 1. You got to get that in your head. Okay, and then you go down and look at the triangle that they gave you. They gave you a 30-60 triangle where it's 5, x, and y. Okay, now let's look at it. Right here. Now you have what? You have ratios to set up. Okay, this is your base triangle. This is your new triangle. Okay, so you have, let's do 2 over 5 equals 1 over y, right? 2 over 5 equals 1 over y. 2 over 5 equals 1 over y. Okay, crisscross and multiply. That means that y is going to equal 5 over 2, right? Because 5 equals 2y, divide by 2. Your answer should be 5/2. Let's check our answer. That's the right answer. Okay, then the x. 2/5 equals square root 3 over x. 2/5 equals square root 3 over x. Crisscross and multiply. That's going to do 5 times square root 3 over 2. And that's your x. Okay? So let me do A for you as your practice. I'm not going to do B, but I will do A. Okay, you can see easily that this and this is close to being the same. So what I'm going to do is write it again. 1z minus 2 plus 3m e over positive z minus 2 because I changed my signs. So then there's your answer. Done. Okay? Look at letter C. I'm going to write it like I like to have my triangles without changing anything. 30's on top, which means 60's on the bottom because it adds up to equal 180. So we know that off the bat. This is 7. The hypotenuse is B, so the bottom is A. Okay, I write my triangle. 30, 60. This is going to be 2, square root 3, and 1. Remember, 30 is across from the 1, 60 is across from the the square root 3. Sometimes that's going to change, so watch that. Okay, here we go. Let's do B over 2 equals 7 over square root 3. Crisscross and multiply, and that's going to be square root 3b equals 14, so that's square root 3, but you can't have a square root on the bottom. So you have to multiply by the square root 3, so it's going to be 14 square root 3 over 3 is your answer for B. Okay, and then for A, I'm going to do A over 1 equals 7 over square root 3. Crisscross and multiply, that's going to be 7 over square root 3 times square root 3 times square root 3. So it's going to be 7 square root 3 over 3. And that's your other answer. Okay, if you have any questions, just let me know. Bye, guys.